Hello viewers, welcome to our today lecture. In our today lecture, we are going to test or apply the VECM model, Vector Error Correction Model. So basically, before applying Vector Error Correction Model, we have to apply Johansson co-integration test to confirm that whether there exists a relationship between these variables or not. So before applying VECM, we have to apply Johansson co-integration test, and after that we can run VECM model. So first of all, we have to bring our data from Excel to Stata file. As I have my data in Excel file here, so I am going to copy data, then go to Stata file, then go to data editor, and here you have to paste all of your data, and you have to go with this option. It means that you are allowing Stata to treat first row as variable name, then click on OK. So here you can see that all of your data is now available in Stata file. Then go back to again Stata, go to statistics, then go to multivariate time series, then go to co-integration rank of a VECM. Basically, it will confirm us that either there exists a co-integration between the variables or not. Then click on co-integration rank of VECM. Here you have to select your variables. As we have 4 variables in our model, but let's say we are interested to check the relationship only of 2 variables, so I am going to select only 2 variables. But keep in mind that if you are going to select any variable first, that variable will become your dependent variable. So let's suppose here if I type GDPG first, so it means that I am going to take GDPG as my dependent variable, and let's say my second variable is FDI. We can take all of these variables as well, but it is easier for us to check relationship between two variables, so that's why we are taking two variables at this time. Then go to time setting, then select year as your time variable, and from these options you have to select the nature of your data set. As the nature of my data set is yearly, so I am going with this option of yearly, then click on OK. And in reporting section you have to select or check this option, report maximum eigen statistics, then click on OK. So here it has given you the test for Granger causality Johansson, test for co-integration. So basically now we have to see either there exists a relationship between these variables or not, and you can also increase or decrease the number of lags here as well. So what are the null and alternative hypothesis? Here you can see that here is 0 means there is 0 co-integrated equation, 1 means that there is 1 co-integrated equation, 2 means that there are 2 co-integrated equations. So these are the H naught or null hypothesis for each of these, and you have to see these values to accept or reject the null and alternative hypothesis. So this is the trace statistics, and this is the critical value of 5%. So we have to see these values for the acceptance and for the rejection of H0 and H1. So if the trace statistics is greater than critical value, so it means that we have to reject the null hypothesis. But if trace statistics is less than critical value, then we have to accept the null hypothesis. Let me write here for you. If the trace stat value is greater than critical value, then we have to reject the null hypothesis. So this is the guideline. If the trace statistic value is greater than the critical value, then we have to reject the null hypothesis. So basically, what is null hypothesis? So for this zero mean H naught or the null hypothesis is that there is no cointegration, and H1 is there is cointegration. So these are the H0 and H1 for this 0. There is no cointegration, and H1 and alternative is there is cointegration. So as you can see that our trace statistics value is greater than this critical value of 5%. It means that we have to reject this null hypothesis, meaning that we have to accept the H1. So we conclude that there is cointegration among these variables. So now it will allow us to run the VECM model because it has fulfilled the criteria for applying VECM model. Basically, why we have applied Johansen test for cointegration? Because we are interested to see that either there exists a relationship between these variables or not. So Johansen test confirms that there is a cointegration among these variables. You can also, if you apply this test and you see that there is no cointegration equation, there is no relationship between these variables, but there is nothing to worry. You can also check it by increasing the number of lags. As in our case, we have taken only 2 lags, but you can also increase the number of lags. So might be possible that if when you increase the number of lags in your model, then maybe you will get the better results, which allows you to apply VECM model. So now let's see if we apply more lags, so what will be the outcome. So go to multivariate time series, go to vector error correction, cointegration rank of vector error correction model VECM, and here you can increase the number of lags. Let's suppose I am taking 5 lags, and from these options trend and specification, you can also change this option if you are interested to include trend in your model, and if you are interested to take constant in your model, and then click on OK. So here you can see that now it has 5 lags in our model and number of observations are 24, sorry. And now you can see that what is the null hypothesis for this? There is one cointegrated equation, and alternative is there is no cointegrated equation. But as you can see that our trace statistic value is less than this value, so we cannot reject the null hypothesis. So what would be the null hypothesis in this case? Null hypothesis is that there is one cointegrated equation, and if trace statistics value is less than the critical value of 5%, then we cannot reject the null hypothesis. We have to accept the null hypothesis. So it means that there is one cointegrated equation present in our model. So this is how you can check the relationship or co-integration between the variables by increasing the number of lags, and it will give you the better results. So now as you can see that this test tells us that there is co-integration between the variables. So now we are good to go to apply VECM model. So now we will apply VECM model on these variable, and let's see how to interpret the result of these model or VECM. So now we have to apply VECM model. So first of all, make clear everything which we have done before. Then go to statistics and go to multivariate time series and go to vector error correction model or VECM. Then click on OK. Here, as we have already selected GDPD, GDPG and FDI variable, then go to time setting. Here you have to select time variable as time. I think we have already cleared all the data set, so we have to paste all the data set again to data editor. Here you can see that there is no data, so we have to copy paste our data again. So now go to statistics, go to multivariate time series, go to vector error correction model. Sorry, go to vector error correction model or VECM. What's going on here? Multivariate vector error correction model. I think something is not working here. Let me see it. Okay, so now go to statistics, then go to multivariate time series, go to vector error correction model or VECM. Here you have to select your dependent variable first, GDP, G, and then you have to select your next variable, and then you have to set up the number of lags. So let's suppose I am going with this option of 5 lags, then go to time setting, then select year as your time variable, then go to yearly, then submit and click on OK. So here you can see that it has given you the results for VECM model or vector error correction model. Here you can see that we have included 5 lags in our model. So LD is the first lag, this is the second, and third, fourth. So these are the lags which we have included in our model, and CE1 mean co-integrated equation 1. This shows the long run relationship between the variables. For the existence of long run variable between these variables, this probability value must be less than 0.05. As you can see that in our case, our probability value is pretty much less than 0.05, which means that there is a long run relationship between our variables. And in this portion of this table, DGDP means the difference of GDP. So when you are applying VECM model, VECM by default take the difference of your dependent variable, and here you can see that DGDP is GDPG and DGDP relationship with its first lag, then second lag, third lag and fourth lag. And against each lag we have probability values, and the guideline is same for all of these. If the probability value is less than 0.05, which means that there is a that particular lag is affecting our dependent variable. But you can see that in all of these lag, all the probability values are higher than 0.05, which means that there is no significant effect of these lags on DGDP. So now talk about FDI. FDIs, these two first values, lag 1 and lag 2, are affecting GDP, as this value is less than 0.05 and this value is very close to 0.05. We can say that these lag 1 and lag 2 are significantly affecting GDP, but lag 3 and lag 4 are not affecting our dependent variable, which is DGDP. So from here we have to tell that how lags are affecting our dependent variable. And similarly, if you look at this table, in this table you can see that DFDI have becomes the dependent variable and GDP is the independent variable. Similarly, you can also explain all of these results as we have done before. As we know, have discussed about the long run relationship between long run existence of these variable, we can also check the short run relationship between these variables as well. So now we will discuss that how can we check that there is a short run relationship between these variables or not. So for the checking of short run relationship, go to statistics, then go to post estimation, then go to test constructs and comparison of parameter estimates, then select this first option, linear test of parameter estimates, and here you have to create, click on create, and here you have to select that coefficient in specific equations are 0, and here you have to select your dependent variable, as my dependent variable is DGDP, and test these coefficients. You have to select the independent variables, lag FDI, and then lag 2, then lag 3, and then lag 4, and then click on OK, and then OK. So here you can see that now it has given us for the result for short run relationship. As you can see that what is the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis is that these all variables lag 1, lag 2 and lag 3, lag 4 all are equals to 0, which means that they have no effect on our dependent variable. So what is the guideline for accepting or rejection of this? If the probability value is less than 0.05, we have to reject the null hypothesis. But in our case, the probability value is greater than 0.05, which means that we have to accept the null hypothesis, and it means that there is no short run relationship between these variables. So what is the H naught? H naught, there is no short run relationship. And what is H1? There is short run relationship between these variables. Our probability value is greater than 0.05, which means that we have to accept the null hypothesis, and we can conclude that there is no short run relationship between these variables. We can also check that whether there is an issue of autocorrelation or not. So let's do it. For this you have to go to statistics, then go to multivariate time series, then go to VAR diagnostics and test, then go to LM test for residuals and autocorrelation, and here it is asking about that how much lag you are going to include in your model for the estimation of or for the checking of autocorrelation. Let's suppose we are going with this option of lag 2, then click on OK. So only work with estimates from VAR or SVAR. So we have done something wrong here, so let me check again. So basically we have to go to VEC option as we are applying VEC model. So go to multivariate analysis, go to VEC diagnostic, then click on LM test for residuals, and then click on OK. So here now you can see that it has given results for autocorrelation. So H0 is no autocorrelation in lag order, and H1 is there is autocorrelation. And what is the criteria for the selecting or rejecting of this H0 or H1? If the probability value is greater than 0.05, then you have to accept H0. As in our case, the probability value is greater than 0.05, which means that we have to accept H0, mean that there is no issue of autocorrelation on lag 1 as well as on lag 2, because both of these probability values are higher than 0.05. So if you want to check that either your residuals are normally distributed or not, you can also do this by going to statistics, then go to multivariate time series, then go to VEC diagnostics and test, then go to test for normality distributed disturbances. Click on this option. As we are only want to see the Jork-Bera test, so we are going with this option only, then click on OK. So here you can see that it has given us the results for all of our model. So what is the H0, H1, H0 is there is H1 is residuals are normally distributed, and H1 is residuals are not normally distributed. So what is the guideline? The guideline is that if the probability value is greater than 0.05, we have to accept the null hypothesis. As in our case, all of the probability values for GDP, DFDI and for all are greater than 0.05, which means that we have to accept the null hypothesis, and we conclude that our residuals are normally distributed. So this is how you can run VECM model, and this is how you interpret all of these results.